Welcome to Paris.
We are starting our Paris travel guide at the Gare de l'Est.
The Gare de l'Est is English for Station of the East or East Station, is one of the 7 large mainline railway station termini in Paris. It is located in the 10th arrondissement, not far southeast from the Gare du Nord.
Opened in 1849, it is currently the 5th busiest of the main railway stations. The Gare de l'Est is the western terminus of the Paris-Strasbourg Railway and Paris-Mulhouse Railway, which then proceeds to Basel in Switzerland.
Now, we are at the Palace of Versailles.
Welcome to the Palace of Versailles, a symbol of royal grandeur and one of the most breathtaking landmarks in the world. Once home to French kings, this architectural masterpiece holds centuries of history, art, and power within its golden halls.
Here is the Saloon of Venus.
This salon was used for serving light meals during evening receptions. The principal feature in this room is Jean Warin, life-size statue of Louis XIV, in the costume of a Roman emperor. On the ceiling in a gilded oval frame is another painting by Huys, Venus subjugating the gods and powers.
The Hall of Mirrors is a long gallery at the westernmost part of the palace that looks out onto the gardens. The hall was built from 1678 to 1681 on the site of a terrace laveau built between the king and queen suites. The hall is clad in marble and decorated in a modified version of the Corinthian order, with 578 mirrors facing 17 windows and reflecting the light provided by them.
The Gardens of Versailles, as they have existed since the reign of Louis XIV, are the work of André Lenôtre. Lenôtre's gardens were preceded by a simple garden laid out in the 1630s by landscape architects Jacques Boisseau and Jacques de Nemours, which he rearranged along an east-west axis that, because of Louis XIV, land purchases and the clearing of woodland were expanded literally as far as could be seen.
The gardens follow the principles of the French formal garden, which is characterized by geometric patterns, symmetry, and the control of nature to reflect order and harmony. Lenôtre's design emphasized grandeur, with long perspectives, tree-lined walkways, ornamental lakes, and carefully manicured lawns. This reflected Louis XIV's desire to demonstrate his absolute power over nature and the land, paralleling his rule over France.
Now, we are touring the Parc des Princes.
The Parc des Princes is an all-seater football stadium in Paris. It is located in the southwest of the French capital, inside the 16th arrondissement, near the Jean Bouin Stadium and Roland Garros Stadium.
The Parc des Princes, with a seating capacity of 47,929 spectators, has been the home of football club Paris Saint-Germain PSG since 1974. Before the opening of the Stade de France in 1998, it was the home stadium of France's national football team and national rugby union team. The Parc des Princes pitch is surrounded by four-covered all-seater stands, officially known as Tribune Borelli, Tribune O'Toole, Tribune Paris, and Tribune Boulogne.
Paris Botanic Gardens.
Roland Garros Stadium.
The French Open, also known as Roland Garros, is a tennis tournament organized by the French Tennis Federation annually at Roland Garros Stadium. It is chronologically the second of the four Grand Slam tennis events every year, held after the Australian Open and before Wimbledon and the US Open. The French Open begins in late May and continues for 2 weeks. The tournament and venue are named after the French aviator Roland Garros.
Now, we are in the Villeneuve-la-Garenne.
The Villeneuve-la-Garenne is a community in the northern suburbs of Paris. It is located 9.2 kilometers from the center of Paris in the Hauts-de-Seine department, in the Île-de-France region.
The township of the Villeneuve-la-Garenne was created on April 9, 1929 by detaching its territory from the municipality of Gennevilliers.
Mount Parnasse Tower.
Notre-Dame's cathedral, ongoing reconstruction.
Notre-Dame de Paris, meaning Our Lady of Paris, often referred to simply as Notre-Dame, is a medieval Catholic cathedral on the Île de la Cité, an island in the River Seine, in the 4th arrondissement of Paris.
The Centre Pompidou.
The Château de Vincennes is a former fortress and royal residence on the eastern edge of Paris. It was largely built between 1361 and 1369 and was a preferred residence after the Palais de la Cité of French kings in the 14th to 16th century.
Because of its fortifications, the Château was often used as a royal sanctuary in times of trouble, and later as a prison and military headquarters. Most of the building is now open to the public.
It is particularly known for its chapel, Sainte-Chapelle de Vincennes, begun in 1379 but not completed until 1552, which is an exceptional example of flamboyant Gothic architecture, and for its donjon or keep, a fortified central tower, the tallest in Europe, built in the 14th century. The Olympia Hall is a concert venue in the 9th arrondissement of Paris. The hall was opened in 1893 by one of the two co-creators of the Moulin Rouge venue, and saw many opera, ballet, and music hall performances.
Tommy Hilfiger clothing store.
The Palais Garnier, also known as l'Opéra Garnier, is a historic 1,979-seat opera house in the 9th arrondissement. It was built for the Paris Opera from 1861 to 1875 at the behest of Emperor Napoleon III.
The Galeries Lafayette is an upmarket French department store chain, the biggest in Europe, Its flagship store is this one on Boulevard Haussmann in the 9th arrondissement. It now operates a number of locations in France and other countries. In 2019, Galeries Lafayette recorded earnings of over 5 billion euros. It is a part of the company group Galeries Lafayette and has been a member of the International Association of Department Stores since 1960.
A wide range of brands are available at the store to suit all budgets, from ready-to-wear to haute couture. The architecture of the store is Art Nouveau, with a remarkable dome and a panoramic view of Paris that has made it a tourist attraction of the French capital city. Galeries Lafayette in Paris hosts a popular weekly fashion show for visitors.
Now, we are at Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge, or Red Mill, is a cabaret in Paris. In 1889, the Moulin Rouge was co-founded by Charles Seidler and Joseph Aller, who also owned the Paris Olympia. The original venue was destroyed by fire in 1915. Moulin Rouge is in the 18th arrondissement, and it has a landmark red windmill on its roof.
Free since 2006, Paris has 400 automatic public toilet cabins, known as Sanisette. They are available in every part of the capital. These Sanisettes, designed by Patrick Jouin, are mostly open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., except for 150 of them on main roads, which are available 24 hours a day.
They're completely automated and self-cleaning between each use. It automatically locks and won't open until you reopen it yourself by pushing the open arrows button. After 15 minutes, it will open, so don't plan on camping out in there. If the button doesn't work, you can use the red emergency door open lever to open it manually.
The Basilica of Sacred Heart is a Catholic church and minor basilica in Paris. It is dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. The Sacré-Cœur Basilica is located at the summit of the butte of Mount Martret. From its dome 200 meters above the Seine, the basilica overlooks the entire city of Paris and its suburbs. It is the second most popular tourist destination in the capital after the Eiffel Tower.
The basilica was first proposed by Félix Fournier, the Bishop of Nantes, in 1870 after the defeat of France and the capture of Napoleon III at the Battle of Sedan in the Franco-Prussian War. He attributed the defeat of France to the moral decline of the country since the French Revolution, and proposed a new Parisian church dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus.
The basilica was designed by Paul Abadie, whose Neo-Byzantine Romanesque plan was selected from among 77 proposals. Construction began in 1875 and continued for 40 years under 5 different architects. Completed in 1914, the basilica was formally consecrated in 1919 after World War I.
The church is 85 meters long and 35 meters wide. It is composed of a large central rotunda, around which are placed a small nave, 2 transepts, and an advance choir, which form a cross. The dominant feature is the immense elongated ovoid cupola, 83 meters high, surrounded by 4 smaller cupolas. At the north end is the campanile, or bell tower, 84 meters high, containing the Savoyard, which is the largest bell in France.
The Fountain of the Nymph Marine.
The French Post Office.
The Pont Neuf.
The Pont Neuf, or New Bridge, is the oldest standing bridge across the River Seine.
The Bateau Parisien, for the River Seine cruise.
Hotel du Louvre.
This is the Louvre Museum building.
The Louvre Museum is a national art museum in Paris and one of the most famous museums in the world. It is located in the first arrondissement. It is home to some of the most canonical works of Western art, including the Mona Lisa, Venus de Milo, and Winged Victory. The museum is housed in the Louvre Palace, originally built in the late 12th to 13th century under Philip II.
The Louvre Glass Pyramid, designed by the renowned Chinese-American architect I.M. Pei, serves as the main entrance to the Louvre Museum and has become a symbol of modern Paris. Completed in 1989, the 71-foot-tall pyramid is made of nearly 700 glass panes and stands in striking contrast to the classical architecture of the historic Louvre Palace.
The Winged Victory of Samothrace is a masterpiece of Greek sculpture from the Hellenistic era.
The Mona Lisa, Italian is La Gioconda, French is La Joconde, is a half-length portrait painting by Italian artist Leonardo da Vinci. Considered an archetypal masterpiece of the Italian Renaissance, it has been described as the best known, the most visited, the most written about, the most sung about, the most parodied work of art in the world.
The painting's novel qualities include the subject's enigmatic expression, monumentality of the composition, the subtle modeling of forms, and the atmospheric illusionism.
It is located in room 711 of the Louvre Museum.
Oh yeah. Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, Paris.
The Coronation of Napoleon is a painting completed in 1807 by Jacques-Louis David, the official painter of Napoleon, depicting the coronation of Napoleon at Notre-Dame de Paris.
The Venus de Milo, or Aphrodite of Melos, is an ancient Greek marble sculpture that was created during the Hellenistic period. It was rediscovered in 1820 on the island of Melos, Greece, and has been displayed at the Louvre Museum since 1821. Since the statue's discovery, it has become one of the most famous works of ancient Greek sculpture in the world.
This is The Mediterranean by French sculptor, painter, and printmaker Aristide Joseph Bonaventure Maillol.
The Tuileries Garden is a public garden between the Louvre and the Place de la Concorde. It was created by Catherine de Medici as the garden of the Tuileries Palace in 1564. It was opened to the public in 1667 and became a public park after the French Revolution. Since the 19th century, it has been a place for Parisians to celebrate, meet, stroll, and relax. During the 2024 Summer Olympics and Paralympics, it was the site of the Olympic and Paralympic cauldron.
This is The Action in Chains by French sculptor, painter, and printmaker Aristide Joseph Bonaventure Maillol. Coffee Paris.
The Pont Alexandre III is a deck-arch bridge that spans the River Seine. The bridge is widely regarded as the most ornate, extravagant bridge in the city. It has been classified as a French monument historic since 1975.
The Bouquinists. They are booksellers of used and antiquarian books and rare vintage postcards who ply their trade along large sections of the banks of the Seine, on the right bank from the Pont Marie to the Quai du Louvre, and on the left bank from the Quai de la Tournelle to Quai Voltaire. The Seine is thus described as the only river in the world that runs between two bookshelves.
Sculpture of the Queen in Paris.
The House of Agricultural Engineers.
Restaurant Voltaire.
Fans Lorient.
The National Assembly is the lower house of the bicameral French Parliament under the Fifth Republic, the upper house being the Senate. The National Assembly's legislators are known as députés, meaning delegate.
The Fountain of River Commerce and Navigation, one of the two Fontaines de la Concorde, completed in 1840, during the reign of King Louis Philippe.
The Luxor obelisk are a pair of ancient Egyptian obelisks, over 3,000 years old, carved to stand either side of the portal of the Luxor temple in the reign of Ramses II. The right-hand western stone is 23 meters tall or 75 feet high. It was moved in the 1830 to the Place de la Concorde, while the left-hand eastern obelisk remains in its location in Egypt.
Welcome to the Champs-Élysées.
The Avenue des Champs-Élysées is one of the most famous and prestigious avenues in the world, located in the 8th arrondissement of Paris. It runs for 1.9 kilometers, which is about 1.2 miles. It connects the Place de la Concorde to the west and the Arc de Triomphe to the east, known for its theaters, cafes, luxury shops, and significant historical landmarks. The Champs-Élysées is a symbol of French culture and elegance.
The Champs-Élysées is also home to major events like the Bastille Day military parade and is the traditional finish line for the Tour de France bicycle race. With its wide sidewalks and historic buildings, it's a popular destination for both Parisians and tourists alike.
Adidas.
Foot Locker.
Lululemon.
Messika.
Lacoste.
Boulangerie Louise.
Lancôme.
Galerie Lafayette Champs-Élysées Department Store.
Monoprix.
PSG Pro Megastore.
Apple Store.
Louis Vuitton.
Mont Blanc.
The Triumphal Arch and National Monument.
The Arc de Triomphe is one of the most famous monuments in Paris. Located at the western end of the Champs-Élysées, it stands at the center of the Place Charles de Gaulle. Commissioned in 1806 by Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte, after his victory at the Battle of Austerlitz, the arch was completed in 1836, during the reign of Louis Philippe.
Its architectural style is neoclassical, inspired by the ancient Roman Arch of Titus. Its height is 50 meters or 1/6 feet. Its width is 45 meters or 1/8 feet. The design? The monument is decorated with intricate reliefs and sculptures that commemorate military victories and honor those who fought and died for France during the French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars.
Also, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The Arc de Triomphe houses the tomb of the unknown soldier from World War I, with an eternal flame that burns in memory of those who have died in war.
From the top of the arch, visitors can enjoy panoramic views of Paris, including landmarks like the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, and the Champs-Élysées. The monument is a symbol of French national pride and often the site of important national ceremonies, including Bastille Day military parades.
Christian Dior.
Yves Saint Laurent.
Montclair,
Hugo Boss,
Fouquet,
Fountain Berlin Square,
Statue of General Charles de Gaulle.
The Grand Palais is an exhibition hall and museum complex. Construction of the Grand Palais began in 1897, following the demolition of the Palace of Industry, to prepare for the Universal Exposition of 1900. That exposition also produced the adjacent Petit Palais and Pont Alexandre III.
The building was designed to be a large-scale venue for official artistic events. A pediment on the building refers to this function with an inscription that reads, "A monument dedicated by the Republic to the glory of French art, designed according to Beaux Arts tastes." The building features ornate stone facades, glass vaults, and period innovations that included iron and light steel framing and reinforced concrete.
This one is the Petit Palais.
The statue of Georges Clemenceau.
Georges Benjamin Clemenceau, born the 28th of September 1841 to the 24th of November 1929, was a French statesman who served as Prime Minister of France from 1906 to 1909 and again from 1917 until 1920. A physician turned journalist, he played a central role in the politics of the Third Republic, particularly amid the end of the First World War.
Golden statue on the Alexander III Bridge.
This statue is also on the Alexander III Bridge.
Another golden statue on the Alexander III Bridge.
A statue of Winston Churchill by sculptor Jean Cardet. It was inaugurated in the grounds of the Petit Palais on the Avenue Winston Churchill in the 8th arrondissement of Paris in 1998. The statue of the former British Prime Minister is one of few statues of foreigners in the French capital.
The statue is based on a photograph of Churchill marching with de Gaulle down the Champs-Élysées on the 11th of November 1944.
Equestrian statue of Simon Bolivar, the Liberator.
St. Mary Magdalene Church.
Switzerland tourism.
Le Grand Hotel.
The Intercontinental Paris Le Grand is a historic luxury hotel in Paris, which opened in 1862.
Café de la Paix.
Red Bank Popular.
BNP Paribas.
Chateau Voltaire Hotel.
Mephisto.
The Wallace Fountain.
Wallace fountains are public drinking fountains named after financed by and roughly designed by Sir Richard Wallace. The final design and sculpture is by Wallace's friend, Charles Auguste Labour. They are large cast iron sculptures scattered throughout the city of Paris, mainly along the most frequented sidewalks.
This is the Four Caryatides fountain model.
Horses of Marly, by sculptor Guillaume Cousteau.
Place de la Concorde lamp.
This is the statue of King Albert I, King of Belgium.
Albert I was king of the Belgians from December 23, 1909, until his death in 1934. He is popularly referred to as the Night King in Belgium in reference to his role during World War I.
The statue of George Washington.
House of the Invalids is a complex of buildings in the 7th arrondissement of Paris, containing museums and monuments, all relating to the military history of France, as well as a hospital and an old soldiers' retirement home.
Cavalry Military School.
The Army Museum.
The Army Museum is a French national museum located in the 7th arrondissement of Paris. The Army Museum is a history museum whose vocation is to present the history of conflicts through the prism of the military history of France.
The museum was created in 1905 by the merger of the Artillery Museum and the Army History Museum, both of which were already located in the Hôtel des Invalides.
The museum's 7 main spaces and departments contain collections that span the period from antiquity through the 20th century.
The museum holds 500,000 artifacts, including weapons, armor, artillery, uniforms, emblems and paintings, exhibited in an area of 12,000 square meters.
The Avenue of Marshal Gallieni.
And now, let us end our Paris travel guide with the Eiffel Tower.
The Eiffel Tower, an iconic symbol of France, stands tall in Paris, on the Champs de Mars, near the River Seine. Designed by engineer Gustave Eiffel, it was completed in 1889 for the World's Fair to commemorate the centennial of the French Revolution.
The gardens of the Trocadero and the Fountain of Warsaw with the Palais des Chalets in the background.
The Museum of Mankind and the Maritime Museum.
Here she is, the Eiffel Tower.
Standing at 324 meters or 1,063 feet tall, the Eiffel Tower was the tallest man-made structure in the world until the completion of the Chrysler Building in New York in 1930.
Chalet, National Dance Theater.
This bronze statue is called the Taureau and Dame, which translates to bull and deer.
The Fountain of Trocadero or Warsaw Fountain is made of 20 oblique water cannons with a range of 50 meters, 56 sheaves with a range of 7 meters, and 12 water columns of 7 meters jets. The flow rate of the whole is 5,700 liters of water per second.
Carousel of the Eiffel Tower.
The Grand Palais Ephemer.
Eiffel Tower Garden and the Champs de Mars.
Thanks for exploring Paris with us. From iconic landmarks to hidden gems, we hope this guide helps you plan your perfect trip to the City of Lights. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more travel tips and adventures around the world. Share your favorite Paris spots in the comments, or let us know where you'd like us to guide you next. Until next time, bon voyage, and keep chasing your travel dreams.